Hello, everyone. You actually requested my help in the following problem. So basically, you needed to plot. So the question was initially to plot t squared versus L, right? That was our first classwork done in the first week of September. So first of all, before starting the plot, we need to find t squared. And for that, I'm gonna use t squared, and obviously the unit is gonna be second squared. And to be able to do this, I need to square this column. So I'm gonna start with equal this value and square it. Okay, now you drag. This way you will avoid using your calculator to be able to calculate each value on your own. So this is gonna be according to what we already discussed. We say plot y versus x, right? So t squared is gonna be your y. This is your y-axis and this is your x-axis. So every time you use Excel, just make sure to put your x first, then y. I'm gonna highlight x in yellow for it to be visible. I'm a visual person and I don't like my table to be messed up because maybe I'm gonna use it in a week or two and I would like to see everything clear to me. So let's select the x values, again, values without the labels, and the y values. Okay, let me try it again. So the x values and the y values. And this is where you are ready to plot. You click on insert. You go for the scatter. Please do not go for this line or a column, the scatter, just the XY scatter, because you want to do the linear fit, the best fit in a manual way. So I'm gonna click on the scatter. I'm gonna pick this option and look at my graph, pretty and nice. And obviously this shows like a linear relationship because we already know that t squared and L are directly proportional. First thing first, we need to create a table. We need to label the chart and label the X and Y axis. You can find under chart design those options. Add chart element. Maybe I can create, okay, this is ready for me. I'm gonna call it t squared versus x, no, versus L. I'm gonna click again. This is the vertical axis. The vertical axis for me is gonna be t squared. I'm gonna add a unit, second to the powers 2. Okay, click again. I would like to go to the horizontal, and this is L. The unit is meters. Those are too small, and maybe you would like to change the font for, I don't know, font 14 and make it bold, and this one as well. Select font 14, make it bold, and for the title, how about we use font 18 and make it bold? Okay? So I'm done with my graph. If you want, you can also create a color for the graph to make it look nice. Do you think this would work? It just changed my font, so I'm gonna undo to keep it as is. So maybe we can change the type and make it t squared as a function of L for spring, number 1, for instance. Okay, anything you need. Now, how do I do the best fit? You need to right click on your point. So right click, add trend line. We need the linear relationship, and you can display the equation on the chart and the r squared value. Please, under no condition, do not set your intercept to 0 because we don't want to force our straight line to go into the origin because this is gonna change your slope tremendously. So let me change the font of the equation of the graph for it to be visible. This is too small for my taste. And you can see the equation of the straight line. You can see the slope, the y-intercept. What is the r squared value? The r squared value is a value that should be close to 1. And you can see it's already close to 1, showing that the scattering and the error is too small. And you can consider this to be linear relationship. Okay. Now, how do I do the linest function? You click equal, linest. Let me see if it works on this version of Excel. You open the parentheses. You're supposed to select the known y. So you select all the y values. Come on. You select all the x values, comma, and then you are requested to pick false or true. False is 0, true is 1. So for the first one, I want to click on 1, and 1 is actually meaning that please do not set my intercept to 0, so keep it. And the second one is related to the stats given by the linest function. I need my stats to include everything. It's not a big deal, but why hide some stats functions, you know? So usually we write 1, 1, and you close the parentheses and you click return. And this is where your linest function is gonna give you everything. On some version of Excel, you may end up with a small box of 4 different values. On some other version of Excel, you may need to click in the function formula and you need to click probably Control Shift Enter or Command Shift Enter, depends on what iOS you have or what version of Excel you have. But I already tried on most of everybody's laptops and it works. Let me know if yours do not work. What are these values? I'm interested mostly in those two. Let me tell you, this is the slope, right? And you can see it already here. It's the same value. You can see more significant figures in the table. Also, this one represents the error on the slope. So now I can say the slope is equal to, let me see, the error should be one significant figure. So 0.3 is enough. So I'm going to use 0.3 for the error on the slope, plus or minus. Now the value, since the uncertainty is 1 decimal, the value should be 1 decimal as well. And this is where I need to round my slope to 1 decimal only. Now we need to figure out the unit. The unit of the slope is the unit of y over unit of x. What is the unit of y? In my case, it is second squared. What is the unit of x? It's meters. So the unit for the slope is going to be second squared over meters. Okay, and this is basically the unit for the slope and the error on it. And the final question was, what does the slope represent? So I remember the equation was t equals 2 pi square root of L over G, am I right? So the best way to remove the radical sign is to t square both sides of the equations. 2 squared is gonna be 4, pi squared is gonna be pi squared, and the radical will be removed. This is how it's gonna look like. I already know this is my y-axis, and this represents my x-axis, which means that the slope is gonna represent all that. And this is where I have the right to say my slope represents 4 pi squared divided by g, and I can easily find g by rearranging the equation and saying g is 4 pi squared over the slope, using those value, this value for the slope and this value for the uncertainty. Doing propagation of error, I can also find the uncertainty on G, and so on and so forth. Let me know if this is not clear to you, and also share with me your questions.